Great. We'll move into mayor's business. Just a couple of things. There is no C4, so Clackamas County Coordinating Committee meeting this month for October. Staff at the county was heavily engaged with, it was kind of an all hands on deck piece for September with the wildfires and whatnot. And so all county staff that we might tie up with doing any kind of research or prepping for the meeting, we did not. They had other pressing things to do, so there's no coordinating committee meeting for this month. I did have a R1 Act meeting on Monday night. And the topics included looking at, we had a response. So myself, and I had put in a letter for to go to the Oregon Transportation Committee that the R1 Act had approved, and we got a response back from that from the chair of the Region 1 Act stating that they're now, they've heard what we had to say, and it looks like, so our push for making sure that the OTC look at doing, funding the I-205 project, since we're funded up through design, and having the OTC work with the legislature to either figure out how we get to funding for the build out. And what has come back is that the OTC, with some pressure that's been applied from elsewhere in the region, that they're going to look at more of a comprehensive congestion plan is what they're now going to look at. And so, so they're now put this particular piece in the hands of the Urban Mobility Office there at the state, and they're going to look at preparing recommendations for the entire region. So, because we have to be careful what we wish for and what we write letters on, because we may get a reaction and or action that we may not intend, and that's what I think what we have here now. Instead of just looking at the 205 project as a standalone piece, they're going to look at the whole region from a congestion standpoint. So we had an update on tolling. So the NEPA, which is the environmental research piece of it, is still in process. They're still collecting information and input from citizens. So please feel free to weigh in on that. We also had an introduction to the next state transportation improvement plan or project list for 2024-2027. They've narrowed it down to 4 different categories that they're looking at, and how the funds will be dispersed amongst enhanced projects, non-highway projects, non-highway and safety projects, and fix-it projects. So we will be looking at that in coming weeks. But again, the OTC is going to look at what the sorry, pop up on my screen. It won't go away. So we'll have the OTC again is going to weigh in on what that is going to look like, and come back to the regional acts in terms of what that parameter is going to look like. And so the challenge with that is that the OTC will meet and make their recommendations prior to the next ACT meeting in December. And the big argument, or the push, at least from Clackamas County and Hood River County, is that the STIP process is really the only funding source for rural cities to be able to submit projects and get funding for. Whereas Metro has monies that come through JPAC, MPAC, and other funding streams. Rural Clackamas County and Hood River County don't. We don't have those options. And so now with Portland Metro cities weighing in and being able to put projects into that funding source, it gets a little sticky, and it'll be an interesting, I'll say, conversation now versus battle. So more to come on that in the future. I want to say welcome to Columbia Distribution. They've officially moved in and have started rolling trucks and business out of their new facility here in Canby. As with anything, there's always adjustments and whatnot, but I know that they're going to be good community members, and we're very excited to have them. So welcome them here to Canby. I want to say thank you to Chief Austin for his incredible years of service at Canby Fire District. Incredible human being, incredible servant. He's done a tremendous amount for Canby Fire, the volunteers, and really Canby as a whole. So just want to take a moment and thank him for that. And I'm forgetting, there's something else. I'm forgetting it right now. So if I remember, I will circle back later and bring it up. But that kind of concludes what I have for right now. We'll move into Councilor Comments and Liaison Reports, and I'll just go clockwise around what I see on my screen. And we'll start with Councilor Spoon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything tonight.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Parker.
The only thing I have is a reminder that we've got the Clackamas County Scare Fair going on, starting on Friday, October 9th, 10th, and 11th. And it'll be each weekend through November 1st. Times are 7 p.m. until midnight. The price is $20 per car, as many as you can legally fit in your car. Single person price is $11. And the tickets can be purchased online at the Clackamas County website.
Great. Anything else, sir? All right. Council.
There we go. So Danny Smith, our new library director, has started. He was with us for our last library board meeting, and we're excited to have him on board. So welcome, Danny. Also, I was going to also mention Chief Austin's 50 years of service with Canby Fire. So thank you, Chief Austin, for all you've done over the last 50 years. There are definitely many lives that are saved because of you and your work. So we thank you so much. And that is all that I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Hensley.
I don't have anything tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Council President Dale.
Mr. Mayor, Cub will not meet until next week, so I'll have to catch you double at our November meeting. And likewise, my thanks to Chief Davis for indulging me and letting me attend Chief Austin's 50th. Our families have been friends for many decades, and so it was a real treat to see. So thank you very much, Chief Austin. 50 years, an amazing, amazing career, and still going.
Yeah, there's no signs of stopping, I think.
No, in fact, he was like, okay, is the award part over? Can I get back to work?
Yeah, for sure. I did remember the other item, and I'll throw that in here real quick before we get to the consent agenda. I just wanted to congratulate Bridging Cultures. They received a $10,000 grant from Clackamas County, and they're going to use that money for purchasing a new delivery truck, which they'll use for delivering boxes of food and meals and things around the community. So thank you to Clackamas County for recognizing this group and helping them achieve their goals for this. So it'll be a nice piece to have for them. All right, thank you all. We'll move into the consent agenda this evening.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the approval of the minutes of the September 2nd, 2020 City Council work session and regular meeting, and the September 16th, 2020 work session and regular City Council meeting, and the appointment of Karina Kanan to the Heritage and Landmark Commission.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Council President Dale, seconded by Councilor, saw Councilor Spoon's hand go up, to approve
I just said second, but that's all right.
to approve the consent agenda, which included the approval of the minutes of the September 2nd, 2020 City Council work session and regular meeting, and September 16th, 2020 work session and regular City Council meeting, and also appointing Karina Kanan to the Heritage and Landmark Commission. Any discussion or comment? All those in favor, hold your hand up or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aye.
Thank you. That passes 5-0. Next on the agenda is our one and only resolution this evening, and it's resolution number 1342, a resolution adopting a temporary program for use of parking lots during the COVID-19 emergency. And our city administrator, Joe Lindsay, will take us through this.
Actually, Jamie Stickle is here to present on this item.
Perfect. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, Mayor Hudson and Council. So I'm Jamie Stickle. I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Canby. And before you tonight is Resolution 1342, which would adopt a temporary program, which we are calling the Open Air Canby Recovery Program. So this Open Air Canby program will allow businesses to expand seating into private parking lots. It was created in response to the ongoing COVID pandemic, which encourages social distancing. But as you can imagine, this has been really difficult for our local businesses, particularly some of our restaurants and drinking establishments. So in an effort to support those businesses, Calvin Lesor, the Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator, researched how other communities have addressed these guidelines and to provide access to expanding outdoor seating. Particularly, I think that we modeled our program after what Beaverton has done, but I know Milwaukee, Oregon City has done some unique things as well. I must note that in addition to Calvin's excellent work, Ryan Potter and Eric Forsell from the PME Planning Department and Joe Lindsay, our fearless leader, interim city administrator and city attorney, went above and beyond to review this program and provide insight, particularly from a zone or code standpoint. This program allows, as I said, for expansion into private parking lots for eating and drinking establishments, recreational uses, personal services, and retail businesses. It will include suspending city parking requirements. However, it does not allow a business to impede into ADA parking spaces, nor can they interfere with traffic lanes or fire lanes. It is proposed that this program stay in place until December 31st of 2021. So not this December, but next December. The program will include businesses citywide and will not require a permit. However, there is administrative review. And really the goal is to make sure that this process is as simple as possible while also encouraging all of the safety protocols to be in place. So before you tonight are two options. One is to adopt the resolution as attached in Exhibit A. The second option would be to decline the adopted resolution. And it is our recommendation that City Council adopt the resolution as attached so that we can expand on a temporary basis. And also I would like to note that this helps to complement our sidewalk cafe permit, which fees were waived on that as well, so that we can really be responsive to our businesses and what they need. And that concludes my presentation, but I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm sure that you have some.
Yes, definitely. Jamie, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for working on this and getting the team on this. This is going to be great, I think. What businesses are kind of teed up to maybe already take advantage of this and get rolling on this?
So we have 3 businesses that have expressed interest. The first one is FOB Taproom, and they really contacted us early on and were interested in expanding. And I know our planning department worked tirelessly to try and look at the code and make it work for them, and it just wasn't a good fit. And so that kind of sparked the idea that maybe we needed to create something that would temporarily allow a deviation from the code. So FOB Taproom, Los Dorados over by the Safeway, or in the Safeway parking lot, and then downtown Matt with Wayward Sandwiches. So those are the 3 that we've heard from. It provided that you approve this tonight, we would be moving forward tomorrow to reach out to those businesses and help to get them going as quickly as possible.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. I was talking with the owner of FOB Tap Room, and yeah, off and on here, and I know that Councilor Parker was helping as well, kind of drive some of this for them as well. But no, I'm glad that we're able to get this done and get this going. So I'm hopeful that we can get this approved tonight. Councilor Spoon, yes.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much for your work on it and any work that Planning Commission and other staff have done as well. This is something that we've been talking about for a few months now, but not everything happens quickly in government, and I know it takes a lot of work. So thank you for doing that. I am totally comfortable with this as it's written. I'm wondering, one thing I brought up last week when we talked about this briefly, and I'm wondering if we could have some sister ordinance or something that would also pave the way to reduce the steps to get tent up for the period of time that this is in place, because I know that it's great to have outdoor seating, but there's going to be some months here coming very quickly where it's not going to be of as much use when the weather turns. And so I'm just throwing that idea out there. I know that we still have to keep our safety provisions in place and make sure that the fire department is comfortable with the structure and everything. But I know that there are also several steps for a business owner to get a tent, and I'm just wondering if there's a way for us to have a sister ordinance that makes that process a little bit smoother, easier, and quicker to make sure that this outdoor seating is of the most use to our local businesses.
Yes, certainly. We will work with our planning department as well as the county to ensure that we can either do a sister ordinance or that the tent option is included.
Councilor Parker, I saw you wave your hand as well.
I'm wondering if you're in the mood for a motion yet.
No, I think there's still some other questions.
Okay.
Maybe,
well, then let me go with a question or two. I was going to suggest the same thing that Councilor Spoon said, that this may not be the last type of thing we need to approve as the days, weeks, and months go on. We may find, in fact, that there are some other things that we need to do to be accommodating to our business. So my message to staff is, do not be reluctant to bring us a revision, a change, or something new if something would help our businesses. Secondly, thanks to everybody who worked on this thing. I have absolutely detested the ordinance that we have had to work with on this, which is a temporary vendor ordinance, which makes no sense at all since we're talking about existing businesses. So thank you for at least getting something whose name is at least rational and paired up with what we're doing.
Thank you, Councilor Parker. Councilor Broadway?
Yeah, I have two questions. The first would be, just to clarify, this is private parking lots, not street parking, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then my second question is where it talks about in order to quickly modify the program in response to changing circumstances, the program includes a delegation of authority to the Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator. I imagine that is a named person, or is that to the Economic Development Department? The reason I ask that question is in the case of somebody maybe not being able to be present at work, or if there's any kind of changes in that person over the next year until this expires, who does that default to after that? So can we delegate the department, or do we have a certain person delegated to make any changes?
The way that the staff report was written, it does say Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator. The program itself actually lists the Economic Development Director or whoever that person deems responsible. So, I think the Economic Development Department would be the ones, and obviously we'd continue to work with the Planning Department and if we had any further questions, but I imagine that it would just be out of the Economic Development Department.
Perfect. I just want to make sure that we have somebody in place just in case there's any, if Calvin's not available or whatnot, to make any changes that we can make that happen for people.
Any other questions? All right. Councilor Parker, did you want to make a motion?
I move that the council adopt resolution number 1342, a resolution adopting a temporary program for use of parking lots during the COVID-19 emergency.
I will second.
Motion has been made by Councilor Parker and seconded by Councilor Barway to approve resolution number 1342, a resolution adopting a temporary program for use of parking lots during the COVID-19 emergency for outdoor businesses. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That carries 5-0. Jamie, thank you very much. I think this is going to be great. Appreciate the hard work by staff on this.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your guys' dedication to helping our businesses, especially during this time. But I think all of you are always so thoughtful about how we can be responsive, and this is just one step forward, and we've got some other things to up our sleeves. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. That concludes resolutions and ordinances. We'll move into city administrator business and staff reports. Joe, Mr. City Administrator, what do you have for us?
16? Okay. Well, I have a couple of items. The first of which is at the end of our last meetings, or the last couple of meetings, we talked about the Walnut Street extension. And I know there's even buzz out in the community about a need for that now more than ever because of trucks in that part of town. So we've made sure and done the notice requirement for the TSB amendment so that the Planning Commission can hear it by the end of October so that you guys can hear it in November. So the plan is, if we can get our transportation systems plan amendment going with that particular project in it, then we can spend SDC monies so that we can start to work towards engineering it and eventually constructing it. So know that we're taking all of the required steps and that you guys should be able to see this come before you in November. So that's the first bit. The second bit is we had a planning director position open, and we didn't receive really enough qualified candidates to actually continue on with a complete interviewing process. So what we're doing is we've opened that back up, and we're going to leave it open until filled. So we're not just going to close it down now. And we've located a few other areas in the industry where if we advertise there, perhaps more folks will see it. And we're also aware that during COVID times, the people might not be absolutely looking to move their circumstances. So we're hopeful that as things kind of normalize a little bit more, leaving this open and advertising in a little bit better way, that our planning director position will receive a little bit more buzz than it has heretofore. But so that's news. And then there's actually early this month there were 3 anniversaries of workers here in Canby. The first of which you know her well. She's sitting here in the room. Her name's Melissa Bissett. She had her 1-year anniversary at the beginning of this month. Also at the beginning of this month, Eric over at the swim center, he has actually been here. He's 29 in terms of Canby years. So he's been here 29 years. And so we want to thank him for his continued service here. And finally, Jerry Nelzine out in Public Works, he's turning 16 in Canby years. And so we wanted to wish him a happy anniversary and have him appreciate, or who, Aaron? Oh my gosh, Aaron Burkhart? Okay, and Aaron Burkhart finally is coming in at age 12. So her anniversary is also this month. And so I want to make sure that we're celebrating all of our staff, and these guys give us a lot of good work and we appreciate them. So that's my report.
Well, happy anniversary to everybody. That's fantastic. 29 years for Eric. That is a long time.
Yeah, that is. He does a really nice job out there, and he's actually doing a good job of trying to open the pool again. They just started with, you have to have an appointment and you have to sign up in advance, but they're actually getting some pretty decent amount of lap swimmers coming back. So that's been a challenge during COVID times, and he's been really instrumental in kind of making sure that he's serving the swimming community.
Excellent. Well, Joe, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate you calling out the anniversaries like that. We've not done that, and I think that's good. We'll make the next city manager do that as well. I think that's important to celebrate anniversaries like that. So, thank you for doing that.
Okay, yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Before, let's see, next on the agenda is not really an adjournment as much as a break in the action as we get ready to go into executive session. So I will take a motion for the city council to go into executive session.
Do we
Mr.
need to do
Mayor.
action review first?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I already crossed it off and moved on, and I think that's
And citizen input. Second opportunity for citizen input.
I'm just skipping all sorts of stuff. Thank you. And I saw Sarah leaning in too. I think she was going to say, Mr. Mayor, we forgot a few things. So, citizen input. Was anyone else there silently email in or chime in?
No, there's not.
All right. Thank you. And then finally, how about action review?
All right, you've approved the consent agenda and approved resolution number 1342.
Wonderful. Great. Counselor Spoon, did you have something?
No, I was just going to move that we adjourn into executive session pursuant to ORS 192.660, parent 2, parent A, to consider the employment of a public officer.
Excellent.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Seeing four hands and a verbal yes. So before we do that, let me read my little spiel here. The city council.